Hello, everyone. This is Swati from Ability. Thank you so much for joining us here today. And while we are waiting for some more people to join us, I would like to thank you all for the overwhelming response that we received for this particular webinar. And I would like to also inform you all that this is the first in the series of webinars that we have planned to help kids with special needs during this COVID situation. So, again, thank you all for joining. And let me introduce you to the two organizations that have brought this webinar together. And the organizations are known by the name Ability and Aadhaar Center. Aadhaar is an NGO based out of Bhopal, and it has been functional and helping kids with special needs for more than 15 years now. And they have a variety of services that range from school readiness to career counseling. We are really grateful to have the founder of Aadhaar, Dr. Jagmeet Chawla, as our speaker for the day. Also, talking about Ability, we at Ability are also focused at kids with special needs and slow learners. We basically have a platform that helps the kids and that helps build individual plans and personalized plans for each of the students and brings together parents, special educators, therapists, and also schools to offer the best possible interventions. So, yeah, that is all about the two organizations that have made this webinar possible. Moving to the speaker of the day, Dr. Jagmeet Chawla, I would like to welcome you, ma'am, and thank you
Thank
so
you.
much for hosting this webinar for us today. She is a developmental pediatrician and also the founding director of Aadhaar Center. She has been helping kids for more than 28 years now. Definitely an expert. And she has been awarded with numerous honorable awards, and her papers have been published and read in multiple national conferences. So, yeah, we are really elated to have her here with us today.
Thank you so much, Swati, and thank you, Balaji. Thank you, Ability, for this wonderful opportunity to be able to reach out to so many special educators, therapists, panelists, etc. And I'm delighted to see the kind of audience that we've got today from various cities of India, and I think a few from abroad. And thank you once again. Today, we are going to be talking about what our current situation is, basically. Our current situation is completely unprecedented, something that none of us had ever thought about, something that none of us have ever experienced in our lives before, but then something which has come on our heads, so we have to face it head on. And the agenda for today's webinar will be like discussing all these points, our current situation, what our experience at Aadhaar has been during this lockdown, how do we set expectations, what are the considerations to be taken, what are the challenges, what is the methodology to be used, and what are the strategies. So next slide, please, Swati.
Yeah.
When we went to the web, and even when we were talking to our parents were reaching out. This was the general things that we saw everywhere. Absolutely worried parents, absolutely confused, and totally feeling overwhelmed about the kind of problems. Having a special child, having a challenged child in itself is a very overwhelming problem. And I really truly admire all the warriors, all the parents, and the therapists who are into this job. And suddenly a lockdown gets imposed on you, so you really do not know how to handle, what to do, how to do. So this was the kind of tweets, the kind of messages that we were getting across. And I don't think it's necessary for me to read all this, but it's enough. And I think all of you also have seen it, felt it, and heard it from each other, that it is a totally overwhelming experience, and a really little intimidating and difficult to manage. Next slide, please. So what are the implications that all this gives? We are all cooped up in our homes. We really don't know what to do. 24/7, our children are with us. Our special needs children really do not know how to handle it. They are used to a set routine. The siblings of the special needs children have their own They are also cooped up. A few of them have missed out their exams. A few of them have their exams which were completed. A few on the summer vacation mode. Nobody understanding what is happening. So out of routine children, restless children, and the greatest worry that we in the field of special needs have. What is our greatest worry? My child should not regress. Would it happen that my child starts regressing if this continues, if my therapy stops, if my child stops going to the center? I really don't know what to do. The child is used to a fixed routine, the child is used to a structured atmosphere. So suddenly everything is thrown out of gear. So if my child regresses, all the mehnat that I've done over the period, where does all that go? So this is what worries parents tremendously. This is what parents feel that they are struggling to cope up with. So a few parents start doing a few activities, then give it up because the housework is, household chores are remaining. They barely manage to finish that, and the eating time is done, this is done, the other children are demanding time. So everything, children are restless, so parents are screaming, parents are getting worried. All this is happening. In addition, even the therapists start feeling that we are we are losing out on our children might start regressing, and more than that, even and in association with that, not definitely more, in association, our income loss is also significant because our children are not reaching back to us. So how will we handle it? So all this is putting the scenario in a place that everybody is totally confused and really not knowing what to do, how to do. But there are a lot of opportunities. When we start looking at things from one perspective, we tend to get a little negative about the whole atmosphere. We tend to start getting, the despair. Every day we are just hearing more and more about coronavirus, the fatalities, the incidents, the pandemic. This is happening in US, that is happening in Italy, this is happening in Singapore, this is happening in India. In addition to that, all this is things are happening in my house, like I told you about the last slide. But there are always opportunities which if we change our perspective a little, we will be able to see those opportunities. So what are the opportunities that are present in this particular scenario? In this particular scenario, our children are getting a lot of time in their own homes. So the activities of daily living are being done 24/7. So these are things we can build up on. These are life skills which they need to know, which they need to learn, and which they need to practice again and again. Repetitive actions, repetitive practice, and these life skills, these activities of daily living can be built upon. It's not necessary that if you have a set syllabus or a curriculum, we need to be working on that. If we can utilize this time for a different kind of an opportunity. Increased parent engagement, especially parents who are working. Children from the center or from the school, they go to the center, they go to the daycare, they meet the parents in the evening. Suddenly parents are there with the children 24/7. So tremendous amount of time for parent engagement. Thirdly, learning technical tools that will help beyond COVID. With God's grace, with all the prayers, with the doctors, with everybody doing all that they can, we will go beyond COVID. So if we learn a few technical tools now, believe me, we will be at a fantastic place. So we'll be able to help our children much, much more, and it will help us grow as individuals also. In fact, our own experience is showing us that in increasing learning new technical tools helps us tremendously. What has been our particular experience in this scenario? In India, there was a Janta curfew on 22nd, and the Prime Minister announced a lockdown for 21 days on the 23rd. We were getting a lot of phone calls from our parents, a lot of parents becoming overwhelmed, and fortunately, we have a very good rapport with our parents. So when we started talking to them, we started communicating with them through our WhatsApp group, we realized we actually need to reach out to them to do something, and we have to start becoming proactive. So 23rd, we had a staff meeting where we had a lot of brainstorming, and we decided, let's go ahead with this. Let's see what happens. And with the grace of God, it was fantastic. What we started doing was that the very first time we had a parents meeting on a shared platform. And believe me, generally when we have a group parents meeting, we do not get we do not get an attendance which is so high. This time the attendance was fantastic because every parent was at their home, every parent was worried, and every parent could get access to some kind of technology or the other. So this and more what do I say, elated we were at the response that we saw our children giving us. The delight that the children had on their faces when they saw the teachers, the special educators, the speech therapist, the occupational therapist, the physiotherapist, my madam, my this, my that, and our smiles were equivalent because pleasure and happiness was always reciprocated. So that like really put us into top gear. We said, oh, we have to take this forward. The first session, the cooperation of the children and the parents was amazing. 92%. Everything we told our children, they started doing it. The 8% loss that we see in that 100%, we are getting a 92% is more because of the technical glitches rather than the children not cooperating. So it was more because of the child being so happy and the child being so cooperative and the parents being equally cooperative. Now, second session, our children became smarter. They became a little savvy. So they started realizing, oh my God, this is the same kind of therapies that we get when we go there. It's not that they are just going to be having masti and fun. So they are going to make us write, they are going to make us do sorting, they are going to teach us colors, they are going to do this. So the children realized that if we run away from the camera, nobody will be able to hold us back. So we got 35% children running away from the camera. Sitting was a major issue. So we had to rethink our strategy. Then we saw that the cooperation in the physical activities was very good. You tell the child, okay, start jumping. So the jumping was very good. Start doing hopping, start doing this, start doing that. So this was very good. But you start writing, no, the child would run away, would be on his tricycle roaming around the whole house, and the mother sitting in front of the laptop or the screen, and the father trying to run around the child and hold him and bring him back. So it was inevitable because this is what children are, and this is what makes them children. All that is what they are. So we had to start thinking about new strategies. So we had to keep on rethinking out of the box, having our brainstorming sessions, having our own staff sessions repeatedly to have customized programs for each child. Next slide, please. First and foremost, the main thing is that expectations should not be sky high. We cannot aim for the same kind of IEPs being carried out the way we do it at our centers. It is just not possible. With parents, children definitely tend to become more cranky, more, pampered, more irritable, or they start having their own way around. And they know that the parents will not be able to control them. And they also know that the therapists, how much ever they love them, will not be able to come from the camera or from the screen and try to do anything for them. So let our expectations be really, really realistic. Realistic expectations and fun all the way. That is the key that we found out to make the sessions workable and make the sessions doable. What are the hidden opportunities which we generally do not see? Whenever we make an IEP, we give them a set plan. We also give them a home-based program. But how frequently do we check that home-based program? Whenever we have the repeat IEPs. We do not see it. We do not keep asking them at every week, what have you done at home? So this was the opportunity that we can keep asking them again and again, because parent engagement, like I said earlier, was tremendous. And activities at home, we can think of new out of the way activities which children would also enjoy and parents also enjoy. What are the things we need to consider? First and foremost, the need of the child, the need of the student. What does the child need? So go over the IEP, understand the IEP, understand what was the work you were doing, understand how you were doing that work, and how, without meeting the child personally, you can carry out that work. Secondly, parent skill and parent will. It is very important. There are a few parents who are very willing, but the skill is lacking. There are a few parents where they are very skillful, but the will is lacking. Oh, I'm so tired. I have a mother telling me, oh, ma'am, I'm so tired with all the work that I really don't have time for this child. So where she's a IT expert. So we can't do anything about it. Then the availability of technology. In a country like India, the limitations we have, what is the technology available? We at Aadhaar have about 20 children who are below poverty line. So we are reaching out to most of them. We are not being able to reach out to all of them, but we are reaching out to most of them. We are again unable to give each one the kind of therapy we are being able to give the other children, but as much as possible, we are doing it. So if they do not have a shared platform, if they do not have something like Zoom, or they do not have a laptop or a PC, a smartphone is all that is enough. So we try to do it on the WhatsApp platform also. So at least let them see us, let us see the child, let us have an interaction, let us have an engagement. That itself helps us tremendously. Similarly, these are the challenges we would experience. The student, we would obviously experience a lot of challenges. No child would love to be sitting and start doing work, because another thing which the parents would love doing is, and which parents are doing, they are repeating the action. Generally, they would be repeating the activities just once a day or something. Now they are repeating the activities 4 times a day, because you have parents which are helicopter parents who would love, let me, oh, nothing, no work to be done. Okay, the child is seeing TV, pick the child up, let him sit down and start making him writing, start this, start that. So all these are challenges which again we'll have it with the children, we'll have it with the parent, we'll have it with technology, and our own challenges most of all. So never ever forget your own challenges. Next slide. What is most important is that, number one, ensure professionalism, ensure a routine. That means that if you have to go, agreed, you may be in your own house and you're in the comforts of your own home, but it is not necessary to be badly dressed or not be up to the mark. Be professional with the time that you give, stick to the time that you give, stick to the meeting times, stick to the time of the session, the duration of the session, the routine of the session, and also ensure that you are professional as well as your parents are also equally professional. No last minute changing unless it's an emergency, because it will put everything into a jeopardy. Second, self-care is very important. Don't overburden yourselves. Don't take care of your health, take care of your nutrition, take care of your hydration, take care of everything else that will need, because it's very important. I believe in that adage very, very strongly, that whatever you have inside you, you can give it out. So if you yourself are irritated, restless, absolutely chid, what are you going to give your children? What are you going to give them in sessions? So take time out for yourself. Take a little me time. Take a little time. The house may not be as clean as you wanted. Things may be pending, but take care of yourself. Third most important thing, plan lessons in advance. The lesson plan should be very, very well planned out, with also a backup plan. Say you have a child A, you put 3 activities in the plan A. If the child is not cooperating, what will you do? So you should have a plan B ready. Don't try to change plans very frequently, but have plans which are very, very realistic. Fourth, document everything. Very important, because documentation will help you further. It's very difficult to remember everything that you have said, everything with the parents said, everything which you want them to understand. So possibly you might miss out a few things. So document everything and stay connected with the parents. The parents also need a helping hand. They are the ones who are really undergoing the stress of it most of all. So stay connected, engage with them as much as possible. What are a few useful strategies that we've learned over the sessions that we've had? Engage with the student. Every child is different. You as your therapist, you know what turns on the child. What is the positive reinforcement you can give the child? What is it that you can tell the child and immediately get a smile on the face of the child? Which song, one line you will say and the child will stop crying and smile and be in a happier mood. So keep that engagement on with the child. It's not necessary that you don't have a personal touch, that engagement is lost. The online sessions and the very fact that you're being able to look at each other, keep that engagement on as much as possible. Be very, very clear with the instructions. If necessary, even repeat the instructions, even if you feel that why am I repeating it twice or thrice. Post videos frequently, because it's easier to understand activities through videos rather than just understand the physical activities or even gross motor activities or even fine motor activities. Establish a personal rapport as much as possible. Talk to the mother. See if suppose she's looking a little hassled out, if she's looking a little worried out, ask her what is the problem. Ask her. 2 minutes, 5 minutes extra will not you will not lose time, but you will be able to engage with the mother. You will be able to talk to her and get a rapport with her. Praise the parent. Sorry, I'm seeing a few questions that I think I need to go in Hindi also. So I'll make it more mixed language now. And I'm sorry for the therapists and the parents and my audience. And anyway, any case, question answers I think हम हिंदी में ज़्यादा उनको ले लेंगे. Praise the parents. उनको तारीफ करो. Parents बहुत चीज़ों से गुजर रहे हैं, बहुत कठिनाइयों से गुजर रहे हैं. एक चैलेंज्ड बच्चे को बिना रूटीन के संभालना, यदि उनको घर में कोई हेल्प मिल रही है तो वंडरफुल, यदि नहीं मिल रही तो उनको अकेले संभालना, एक्टिविटी सोचना, लेसन प्लान्स करना, उसको बिजी रखना, टीवी के सामने नहीं रखना, घर का काम भी करना, और उसके बाद ये सब करने के बाद अगर तारीफ कोई भी नहीं करे तो बहुत बुरा लगता है. तो प्लीज हम तारीफ कर ले. अगर वो इतना कुछ कर रहे हैं तो थोड़ी सी तारीफ करने से खुशी होगी, वो और अच्छे से करेंगे. नेक्स्ट स्लाइड प्लीज. मोस्ट ऑफ ऑल बी पेशेंट. धैर्य रखें. रिपीट रिपीट रिपीट. और सबसे ज्यादा धैर्य, सबसे ज्यादा पेशेंस अपने आप से रखिएगा. अपने आप से जितना पेशेंस रखेंगे हम उतना अच्छा काम करेंगे. ये बच्चों के साथ हमने बार बार देखा है कि रेपिटेशन इज द की. आप नॉर्मली बच्चों को 2 बार कुछ बोलो तो बच्चा कर लेता है. चैलेंज बच्चों को हमको रिपीट करना पड़ता है, बार बार रिपीट करना पड़ता है. रिपीट करने के लिए हो सकता है, जैसे मैंने पेरेंट्स के चैलेंजेस में बताया, आई सेड स्किल एंड विल. पेरेंट को नहीं समझ आया, पेरेंट एक एडुकेटर नहीं है, पेरेंट को नहीं आपकी इंस्ट्रक्शन समझ आए कि कैसे करना है, क्या करना है, तो बी पेशेंट. अगर थोड़ा थोड़ा भी कर रहे हैं, 10% भी कर रहे हैं, 20% भी कर रहे हैं, थोड़ी सी तारीफ करिए, प्रेज करिए, रिपीट करिए, पॉजिटिव बनिए. जितना पॉजिटिव बनेंगे उतना आपको पॉजिटिव रिजल्ट्स भी मिलेंगे. लॉ ऑफ अट्रैक्शन, आप पॉजिटिव हैं, वो पॉजिटिविटी स्प्रेड होगी. नेक्स्ट स्लाइड प्लीज. Engage the parent. What do I mean by engaging the parent? The TLM stands for the teaching learning methods. Centers पे तो हमारे पास बहुत सारे teaching learning methods होते हैं. Now you have to start becoming innovative. घर में आपको सोचना पड़ेगा कि क्या teaching learning methods को आप use कर सकते हैं. Sorting में आलू और प्याज ले लीजिएगा, टमाटर और नींबू ले लीजिएगा. अगर कोई कहे मेरे पास नींबू नहीं है तो कुछ और ले ले, उनसे पूछिए आपके पास क्या मटेरियल है. बर्तन ले लें, बर्तन तो सबके पास होते हैं, चम्मच और कांटे ले लीजिए. तो टीचिंग लर्निंग मेथड्स को मॉडिफाई करना पड़ेगा. टीचिंग लर्निंग मेथड्स पेरेंट्स के हिसाब से जाना पड़ेगा. न्यू मोडालिटी को समझाना पड़ेगा. बार बार टेक्नोलॉजी को उनको ये विश्वास दिलाना पड़ेगा कि यू कैन डू इट. इट्स नॉट वेरी डिफिकल्ट. इट्स सो इजी. सब लोग तो कर रहे हैं, everybody is on WhatsApp, everybody is on Zoom, everybody is doing this. It's not a big deal at all. Even I keep making mistakes. So once a parent starts becoming engaged with you, they start doing very well. Send reminders. आपने कोई टीचिंग लर्निंग मेथड्स का वो किया है तो उसका रिमाइंडर भेजिए. डोंट एक्सपेक्ट कि वो याद रखेंगे और वो सब कुछ तैयार लेकर बैठ जाएंगे. हो सकता है वो भूल गए. एंड मेक देम एंजॉय विद देयर किड्स, क्योंकि जहां फन आ जाएगा, जहां एंजॉयमेंट आ जाएगा, वहां पेरेंट्स को भी मजा आने लग जाएगा, वहां बच्चों को भी बहुत सारा मजा आ जाएगा. नेक्स्ट स्लाइड प्लीज. सीक सिबलिंग्स हेल्प. जनरली क्या होता है, आजकल बड़े सिबलिंग्स जो हैं, हमारे चैलेंज चिल्ड्रन की बातें जब हम करते हैं, बड़े बच्चों को भी बहुत सारा ऑनलाइन वर्क मिला है. A lot of work, a lot of home plans, lot of activities, sessions going on. So we don't disturb the older children. So we take the younger child, we sit in a separate room or we sit in a separate corner. Don't do that. Take the help of siblings. It will be more fun. The challenge child will learn much better. यदि कोई बच्चा नहीं है, the child is an only child, then there is no other opportunity, because lockdown में हम neighbors की help भी नहीं ले सकते. But as far as possible, take the help of siblings, because we've seen very positive results with the help of siblings. Next slide, please. Online यदि आप लोग technologically savvy हैं, अगर आप लोग कर सकते हैं, so I think there are a lot of online resources जो हम कर सकते हैं. इसके लिए I think I will take the help of Swati a little, who can tell us how we can utilize all these online resources and introduce them in our methodology and in our work with the children. Swati, over to you.
Swati, we can't hear you. Maybe I could. I think you are muted. So maybe I can.
Yes, Balaji, I think you can take over.
Yeah. What we have seen, speaking to a few people, there are different methodologies have been used. People are using WhatsApp, Zoom, and sending all sorts of activity videos and activity sheets and videos over Zoom and WhatsApp. I think the key aspect is to understand the requirements from the parents, what sort of technologies they have, and making sure that, what you're able to do with the technology available with the parent. And as Dr. Jagmeet was saying earlier, with tech, and particularly in India, you're going to see a lot of glitches. The tech may not work very well, so it's very very important to be patient and stay with the process, and it'll soon everybody would adapt to it and it will start to work. So we are going to put together a few more webinars in this. So we will go into some of this in greater detail, and maybe we can send out some cheat sheets to all the participants over email in the next few days. So I'm quite sure all of you are familiar, and you guys are doing something already, but we could add more experiences that Aadhar has, and as well as from others that we are speaking to. So back to you, Dr. Chava.
Okay. Swati, next slide, please. I think we come to the end of the webinar, and I'm seeing the questions. I think there were a few people who wanted me to speak in English and a few in Hindi. So question answers, you all can please add on whichever language you all want the answer. So we'll be able to give you all the answers better, so that it's more comfortable for you.
Thank you so much. I was trying to speak, but I wasn't audible to all of you. So yeah, we have received a bunch of questions, and the first one that I would like to take is from Dr. Simi Srivastav from Raipur. What she says is that parents have started showing disinterest since this extension of lockdown has been announced. So what should be done to deal with this disinterest of parents?
Basically, the summer vacations are on, but the regression of the child will not stop because the parents are disinterested. So just start thinking about how much the children will be regressing back, and agreed that the lockdown has been extended, but that does not mean that we start becoming disinterested. So I think it's more important for us as therapists or as educators to keep our motto up and our enthusiasm up, so that if our enthusiasm is up, we can give the best to the children and come up with new and innovative activities. Tell parents, okay, generally what would you be doing? Say for example, going out for a vacation. So let's plan a vacation in the house. Let's do something like this. So there are a lot of innovative ways, but you would need to guide the parents. You would need to help the parents a little.
Right, right. That is really interesting. One of the other questions, Dr. Jagmeet, that we have received from Singapore is they're requesting you if you could state more of these activities that could help the parents keep the kids engaged, especially the kids with special needs.
Most of all, I think it's like the children with special needs need a proper routine. That's most important. So give them a proper routine, give them a proper structure, and start involving them in household activities as much as possible. And secondly, take the help of every household member. Every household member should be on the same page. That it's not only the mother's responsibility or the father's responsibility. Like possibly, I think the question has come in from Singapore, so it must be a nuclear family. But the time could be divided because the parent also starts getting a little overwhelmed with the child for a longer period of time, and give the child a lot of physical activities, a little fine motor activities, because different activities in different forms could help the child. In the sense, painting could be done. In the sense, water activities could be done. You fill a bathtub with a lot of toys, plastic toys or rubber toys. So try to find out the toys. And it means activities could be, I think, a whole, it's getting a little beyond the scope of this webinar to be giving activities. But let me remind parents that try remembering what made you happy during your childhood. Try replicating those activities in today's world, and children will be very happy. Start thinking out of the box. Start thinking like a child, and you will do wonders with your child.
Exactly. Yeah, that is very true, ma'am. And like you said, all of your questions, dear audience, might not be answered in great detail during this webinar, but we have a series of webinars planned which will address individual topics in greater detail. I hope so that those webinars will answer all your questions in detail. We have one other question which says, how to cope with limited availability of resources at home for training purposes?
Actually, frankly speaking, there is no limited availability of resources, because I think we can really have a webinar where we can come up with how teaching learning methods, materials can be modified from the home stuff itself. It's just that we feel there is nothing at home, but there is a lot of scope at home. We can do a lot of things. Sorting we can do jumping, we can do maze activities, we can do fine motor activities. There is a whole lot of activities. It just needs a little innovation. And it just needs a little, I think a very typical Indian word for that would be jugaad. You know, like Indians are so good at jugaad. If we are not being able to do this, we'll do something else and try to get a better alternative for it. So that is something which can be done.
Obviously. One other question that we have is, do you think it is important to have set times for student lessons to get them into a good routine? And what are your thoughts on having multiple professionals in web calls for the students?
Definitely, a set time would definitely help the child, because it helps the child get into a routine. But not only a set time for therapy, a set time for waking up. See, if the parents are binging on movies in the night on Netflix or on Amazon or whatever, and waking up in the morning late, and then suddenly it's the time for the seminar, it's the time for the therapy. So that is being imposed only on the child. That will not work. So the set time should be for everybody. That set time, structured routine should be for everybody. But in addition to that, children should also get a lot of free time. It's not that the whole day should be absolutely structured from 9 o'clock to 10 o'clock this, 10 o'clock to 12 o'clock this, 12 o'clock to 2 o'clock this, nothing doing. Have a structured time for therapy, definitely, but give the child a little free time to do what the child feels like doing. Second question was, I believe, could you repeat the second part of the question?
Yeah, so the second part of the question said, ki, what are your thoughts on having multiple professionals? So if it's a speech
Depends how many professionals you were having during the live sessions or during your before the lockdown, and how much your child is used to it and how much your child is comfortable, and how much do you think your child can assimilate, take in and assimilate and be like how productive it is. Let it not become counterproductive, that you organize a lot of sessions with different therapists, but you realize at the end of the week that it's becoming counterproductive for the child himself. Stop doing that. Give the child a little breathing space also.
right.
I would like to add a little here. There are a few parents, albeit a minority, who love bringing in a lot of therapists but not doing any work themselves. So, like the therapist for this, therapist for this, therapist for this, therapist for this. So I have 4 therapists, but I am not doing anything with the child. So that parent engagement is missing. And when that parent engagement is missing, the child feels overburdened, and it's a lesson. So which child would love doing lessons continuously throughout the day? No child. So let the parents remember that at the end of the day.
Okay, interesting. We have questions coming up from schools as well. So one of the questions says, how can a school remain informed of the progression of special kids?
Depends whether the school is generally informed during the summer vacations. What is our policy during the summer vacation? So just think of this as an extended summer vacation. So whatever your school policies are, because I think I am not very qualified to be answering this. I do not know how schools handle special needs children during the summer vacation, and I think the same kind of policies should be put into place.
Right.
Yeah, just on that note, right, so there is a webinar specifically planned for schools. So we would follow up with one specifically for schools and how to manage special needs kids for schools. Coming up soon.
Yes, definitely. And yeah, one other question from Padma says that how do you impose set times on all the parents and other members of the house?
Never impose anything. Nothing works by imposition. We are a democratic country. So anything that you want anybody to do, number one, start praising the person. Yeah. Number two, tell the person, oh, you do this so wonderfully. So if you can do this with the child, it would be a pleasure. And let that person enjoy that activity with the child as much as possible.
Truly. And I'm reading a lot of challenges that people are facing due to the lockdown. And to all those challenges, I would collectively like to ask one question from you. This situation is very new for kids with special needs. So how do you explain this situation to them and manage to keep them calm at the same time? How do you explain them that they are not allowed to go out during this period?
See, it's very important that we answer the children's questions absolutely truly as much as possible. Number one, but be very age specific, because every child is at a different age level, at a different mental level. So do not give the child too much information. That is number one. Number two, a lot of activity in the house should not be concentrated on coronavirus and COVID virus and COVID-19 and the deaths and the despair and the pain and the fatalities, because children hear a lot of things which adults talk and we feel that children are not hearing. So if we have pessimism and doom and panic and fear going on in the house, definitely our children will be imbibing all those vibrations. Talk to the children, tell them that this is a time that there is an infection, or depending on how old the child is, but be as true as possible. In fact, if people could follow Aadhaar on its social media sites has come up with a new concept. There is about the Earth going in an eclipse form, something like a solar eclipse and a lunar eclipse. So coronavirus is like an eclipse form, giving time to the Earth to regenerate, revitalize itself. So similarly, giving time to every inhabitant on earth, because humans have been unnecessarily thinking that we are the supreme authority on earth, which we are not. So it is giving us time to introspect and let the flora and fauna come up beautifully. So all of us need time to introspect. So it's like it's a resting time. So we can use that kind of an analogy with our children, that it is a resting time for all of us. Like we have some, and this resting time, because there is an infection, everybody has a mask on, we are not allowed to go out. So there are a few set rules, and you can link it if your child's age appropriateness, link it to the child's age appropriateness. You can use it as a game. Like when we play hide and seek, how we play hide and seek, we go inside, we don't come out. So use your brains, use your innovative technique, and most of all, don't lie to the child that this is not going to happen. Don't lie to the child that it's not, like, be as truthful as possible, but be diplomatic as well. And positivity is what is most important, optimism and positivity.
Truly, positivity is the most important thing, and that was a really interesting take that you had over Earth going on an eclipse. Really interesting. So, Rachna Mittal asked us, how do you hold interest of the child with autism? Because a child with autism needs to be constantly prompted, and especially now that the sessions have been converted online, how do you ensure engagement?
Depends on the child, age of the child. Like suppose the child is very young, so give them give them therapy time on very limited, or you could break up the therapy time in some form or the other. Physical activity is very, very necessary. So physical activity needs to be given to every child. In fact, physical activity was something I think I overlooked during my self-care message. For every adult also, physical activity is very important. We are not being able to go out, we are not going out. But even if we don't do any physical activity, we have to start, you'll start becoming more, not just like disinterested in everything else around you. So physical activity to channelize these children is very important. Do use a little physical activity, and depending on the age of the child, you could give them some activity or the other with the existing toys, with the existing vessels, with the existing. It's not necessary that you use lesson plans as lesson plans. You could give the child 10 katoris and tell them, okay, now arrange them in this form. Now make a smiley out of it. Now arrange them in an ascending order or a descending order. Anything can be done. And there is, like, for example, there are parents who say, ma'am, we don't have place in our house, we don't have a trampoline. Most houses do not have trampolines. Most houses children don't have tricycles or anything. I'm seeing a message that somebody is doing yoga with the children and fun time bonding with the child, which is amazing, which is wonderful. Another thing which we can do is keep a corner of a house, and every house has mattresses, extra mattresses. Put 2 or 3 mattresses, put a few toys there, and let the child use that corner as a jumping place. So let the child jump over there and put on some music, or you start singing or do something. So the child jumps, utilizes the energy. So that mattresses are used as a trampoline. The physical energy is utilized. The child feels much better. There are positive hormones released in the brain. So the child is better equipped to handle mental challenges also. So that is the best time to do therapy with the child.
Got it. Truly. We have one other question which says, like, these are testing times. These are testing times for everyone, and which has resulted into an increased anxiety for these kids. So how to deal with that anxiety?
Again, the same thing. You see, if my TV is on permanently and things are going on, and every adult in the house is talking about, oh my God, so many people died, so this happened, that happened. So that will go into the child. But like you see, even the smallest thing, like we have this song which runs when the garbage van comes nowadays. I don't know whether it's there in Raipur or in other cities or in Bangalore, but there's a very sweet song, Coronavirus ko tata bye bye bol ke. And the tune is so catchy that the moment you hear it, you feel like singing it with it. Ki coronavirus ko tata bye bye bol ke. It's so simple, but it's such a catchy tune. So don't make it everything of despair. Whatever has to happen will happen, but let's be optimistic and let's not pass on our pessimism, at least to our children.
Indeed, being positive is the solution for most of the problems, and we are running out of time. I hope that I have asked all the questions that were mentioned in the webinar chat or the Q&A section. In case of any other questions, we'll be sending you a link post the webinar. You could send in your questions over there, and we would be delighted to answer your questions through email as well. So yeah, that brings us to the end of session. But before we end it, I have another poll for all of you guys. So like I told you, this is not just a webinar, this is a series of webinars, and we would like to understand what are the other topics that you would like to attend webinars on, and on what frequency. So a poll will be appearing on your screen shortly. Please answer that quickly for us. And a lot of positive chat that I could read over the Zoom, that parents are doing yoga, teachers are trying parent counseling, and so much positivity has been infused into me by attending this webinar and reading comments of people. Thank you so much, Dr. Chavla, for making this happen.
It's giving me so much pleasure that people are doing such wonderful things.
So one of the comments says, I make my sister knead the dal, and she thoroughly enjoys it. We also watch sunrise every day, so it sets tone for the day.
How
Wonderful
beautiful.
thing. And yes, some of you have been requesting us to send email for the next webinar. We have your email IDs. We will keep you informed for all the webinars that we'll be planning ahead. Okay, I hope all of you could get to learn something from this webinar, and all of you have responded to the poll. That brings me to the end of this webinar. We had planned a webinar for 1 hour, but it's close to 1.5 hours. I hope we have addressed all your queries and questions that you had in your mind. And for further questions, feel free to write an email to us. And yes, we are coming up with a series of webinars, so more is coming your way. Thank you so much for being a wonderful audience. Thank you, Dr. Chavla.
Thank you so much, Swati. Thank you, Balaji.
Thank you. And I'm going to keep the polls open for another couple of minutes before I stop the poll.